Well, another Ashes test match, another one down to the wire, and this is absolutely insane. It's one of the best series we are getting to witness here. Two teams who are going at each other, and we just do not know what's going to happen when both of them play. But in the end, here today, England winning a brilliant test match there by 3 wickets, courtesy some Mark Wood and Chris Woakes there in the end, finishing the job for England. And like they said, the Ashes are well and truly alive. I don't know about you or anybody else or all you England fans, but I know someone's very happy, and that's Sheldon Dougherty, who's joining me on the show today. Sheldon, my man, you gotta love what you've seen today. And not only today, Sheldon, you gotta love what we've seen so far, right? Because this has been an absolute brilliant test series so far, Sheldon. And in particular, this test, the momentum kept shifting from England to Australia, but in the end, England were well and truly always in the game. And you always felt that, after bundling out Australia for so cheaply, you always felt that, yes, England were going to win this match.
What a difference a week makes, right? This time last week, we were talking after the second test, and every English fan was down. They were looking for reasons to, look forward. Everyone put the writing on the wall, series over. It's probably going to be 4-1. Glenn McGrath, 5-0 as usual. He put it. And to be honest, after two games, I mean, even I was like, oh, maybe, maybe it might happen the way things are going. But when England headed to Headingley, there was one thing they had to do, and they had to win, no matter what. No brand of play, no baseball, no this, no that, win the game. That's it. And they came and they won this game. And what a series, as you said so far. Forget who won either of the game. Three brilliant test matches. That's what we can say. Honestly, they could have gone either way. You go back to that first test as well, and things just keep, going one way, this way. And this test, especially, I feel was probably the most contested as well between the two. It seemed even closer than the other games somehow. And yeah, just a phenomenal advert for Test cricket yet again, Dil.
Absolutely, Sheldon. Always spot on there, giving his opening comments there. But let's go back, Sheldon. We are going to review this test match in the last 4 days that happened. Day one, they started very well for England. You felt that they got, everything right there. The inclusion of Mark Wood, Chris Woakes. I was wondering where the hell were these guys? Why weren't these guys starting? And we've always been discussing England needed some pace. They needed someone like to keep going at the batsman there, because it was for Australia, it was getting too easy at one point, right? With Ollie Robinson and James Anderson not getting the swing there, you felt that, yes, they needed something. And boy, oh boy, Mark Wood, where was he hiding all this time, right? Yes, injury concerns, but Sheldon, when he bowled there, it was absolutely troubled the Aussie batsman. And what about Mitch Marsh, the Ashes hero? Three 300s all against England, all in the Ashes.
Yeah.
Man, what a test match this was, Sheldon, especially that opening day on day one. You thought we'd seen everything, right? We've seen 100, we've seen like 5 wickets, we've seen bouncers, we've seen everything. But Mitchell Marsh and Mark Wood in particular were the best on that day.
Yeah, it was a day for nice blokes, right? Everything you heard about those two guys in particular is that they're great guys. Australia love Mitchell Marsh. I mean, the fans didn't at one point. He keeps saying, Australia didn't like me at one point in 2019, apparently. But yeah, Mitchell Marsh, a terrific 100. I mean, to come in your first game this series, right, where most of the batsmen are struggling, and he just comes in and makes it look easy on a Headingley pitch, which is doing everything, and Mark Wood's steaming. And I mean, that spell from Mark Wood on day one was just brilliant. I mean, he's such a likable bloke as well because, he goes through so many injuries, but he always has a smile on his face when he comes out and plays. And the way he even bats and bowls, it's just everything's like action packed with Mark Wood, and bowling 150 kph as well on day one in that first spell was just brilliant. And yeah, those two in particular just lit up day one. But I want to mention one part about day one as well. Mitch Marsh dropped early by Johnny Bairstow. And I mean, I can't talk enough about drop catches because yes, England won this game, but Bairstow's keeping and batting this game was quite dreadful again. And I mean, yes, we know what happened in the second game and all that spirit of cricket thing, whatever, but Bairstow's got to back it up. You can't just talk, you got to back it up. And Bairstow's keeping has been very poor. And I'm sure Ben Foakes needs to get a call because there's no way you can keep playing like this. He's almost losing England games. You could argue he's lost them a couple of games just with his keeping alone. So yeah, I think Bairstow is a worry, and it could have cost England again because Marsh went on to make about 70 odd runs after being dropped. So those are big in the context of the game as well.
Absolutely, Sheldon, there, because Johnny Bairstow, yes, not having the best of Ashes test series there for him. But yes, we can think about Ben Foakes coming in because he's done nothing wrong. Keep in mind, he's done
Exactly. Yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong to stay out of this team.
Yeah.
It's just that Johnny Bairstow gives that England, the edge. But Sheldon, at the end of day one there, the way England went about, I thought, they lost those few wickets towards the end, giving Australia the edge. But Pat Cummins, Sheldon, I think there's no words to describe this guy. Where we were all speaking about him, like, during the India series there when he was there, that he's not doing enough, doesn't seem the kind of captain, but how has he turned up, Sheldon, this Ashes series? Hit the winning runs in the first test, backed it up in the next test, and even here, when they needed him the most, he keeps coming and bringing himself on, and then just bowling those quick ones, Sheldon, and just, there was no answer, right?
Yeah, he's a terrific bowler. I think he's the best bowler in the world. And if there was a Player of the Series award after 3 games, I'd give it to Pat Cummins. I feel
Yeah,
he's been the
yeah.
difference between the two sides. He's been absolutely brilliant. And honestly, it looks like Australia running him into the ground with how many spells he keeps coming in and bowling.
Oh, yeah,
Spell after spell after spell. And he was just brilliant again. 6 wickets as well, Dillon, in the first innings. Insane. And I mean, to be fair, I think at lunch on day 2, England were trailing by about 115 and they were 7 wickets down. And at that time, Dill, I thought it's over. Honestly, at that time, if you had to say, oh, how's it going? Can England come back? I thought it was over. But then Mark Wood again came, with a crucial 24 of like 8 balls. And then that man again, Dill. I mean, what more can I say about Ben Stokes, right? I felt that innings was one of the most crucial ones because if he didn't score there, easily Australia could have had 80-run lead again. And it probably would have been game over if they had that lead, right, Dill?
Absolutely, Sheldon. I mean, we've always keep wondering how much can this guy give? Like, how much has he got in the tank left? But he just keeps giving and giving and giving, and there's no end to that. You talk about most of his best innings. You talk about Headingley. I mean, the last time these two teams met here, that's absolutely insane, right? What he did there. I mean, and that almost single-handedly he does it, and with such ease.
Yeah.
You got to think that, okay, no, this is not happening again, right? And we've seen it in the last test. Single-handedly 155 again, almost taking them to the verge of victory there, but not quite, right? And even again today, in this match as well, Sheldon, 80 odd runs there when they needed him the most. Everyone down and out. Who steps up? It's Stokes again. You gotta love the bloke. I mean, you gotta love him. No matter which team ever you support, you gotta take notice where it's due. And Ben Stokes is absolutely brilliant when it comes to this. It's just his game awareness, the way he goes about his business, targets the right bowlers. It's just brilliant to watch, and that's the sort of thing you need, in the team. You need that kind of a guy in the team, and who better than Ben Stokes, to lead the team in that way, showing him how it's done was absolutely good there. But you got to feel, Sheldon, every time England go to bat that, it can't be Stokes again, right? It can't be him again. Like, someone else has to chip up and, okay, Johnny Bairstow was unlucky in the last match. Okay, you can talk about all that nonsense there, what happened. We're not going to dwell much into that, but what happened here this time, Sheldon? Like, Ben Duckett played so well in Lords. Can't back it up over here. Zach Crawley, he's getting the runs initially, but can't go on. Joe Root, he got 100 in the first game, but still can't get that. You always feel he's just looking so good, hitting the ball so well, but can't do it. Harry Brook, second innings, finally, he got one done, but it can't be Stokes always, right?
Yeah, Dylan, I thought even today, that's a big factor why I was reasonably happy when Stokes got out because I was like, someone else has to take them home now.
I can't believe you said I'm reasonably happy with Stokes got out.
Reasonably happy given like the situation, but obviously still a bit pissed off.
Yeah, you were pissed off. I know your heart was in your mouth, I know.
Now I can say it after the game, of course, happy, thinking about the long-term perspective, but no. I was like, someone else has to take them home because Stokes can't do it 3 innings in a row. He can't be the one that drags you, and England found a way somehow. They needed, 80 runs with still 4 wickets stand when Stokes got out. And I was just thinking, I thought Brook, a very key knock for Harry Brook. Yes, he didn't take them all the way over the line, but for his career, I know he had a terrific winter in Pakistan and New Zealand, and those were 2 terrific seasons. But this, for me, was probably his best innings because the quality of the opposition, and it always feels like it's worth more when it's against Australia. And I'm sure people talk about 05 and KP, how he had a breakthrough series, right? And you just hope that maybe Brook can capitalize and kick on like KP did in 05. But yeah, a terrific knock for him to get in his home ground as well. Everyone loved him in Headingley. And I think just for Brook, that innings will do him a lot of good. And even England going forward, knowing that, okay, our captain, our leader didn't take us home, but we still managed to somehow win.
Yeah, Sheldon, because absolutely the game was on the line for England. Like you said, the game was on the line. If it ended here, it was all over. I mean, you would have had a lot of stuff written in the papers and in the media and things like that, right? Because things were looking bad for England at one stage. But Harry Brook came out on top, showed a lot of responsibility, mature innings there with him. But what about these two guys, and the inclusion of Woakes and Moeen Ali? I thought were absolutely brilliant. Moeen Ali is turning out such a good spinner for England. The way he bowled this time around was good. And Chris Woakes, I mean, I always keep wondering, how can you leave this guy out, Sheldon? He's so talented. He's so good as an all-rounder. World Cup, who's the guy apart from Stokes? It's Chris Woakes. It's Chris Woakes always there, right? But even here today, these two guys, seeing them through, you almost feel that these two guys should have been playing right at the top, right, Sheldon?
Yeah, I don't know how Chris Woakes ever gets dropped from England. I don't know how he misses a game for England. He's just so reliable, right? Whenever you see him play, he'll always give his 100%, whether it's with the ball, with the bat. He's always that cricketer who'll just do his best. And maybe he's not as, big as Stokes, and people don't look at him in the same way. But he's probably like as talented and as good the way he plays and contributes to the team. Even his spell yesterday on day 4, yes, everyone says it's overcast, but you still got to bowl well. Just because you have overcast conditions doesn't mean, it's just going to come to you, those wickets. I thought he was terrific on day 4, and today, under pressure, coming into bat. In the first innings, they bounced him out and everyone said, oh, he can't play the bouncer. But the second innings, he rides his luck a bit, and Mark Wood and him, I mean, it was destiny that they won the game for them, right? Considering they came in this game. And yeah, just terrific player, Woakes. And Moeen as well. I mean, a lot of people question whether he should come back, his finger and all, everyone saying, okay, maybe he shouldn't play. But I thought his spell on day 2, when it was pretty flat, to get Smith and Labuschagne, yes, a bit of luck. Those were 2 gifts of a wicket, but I thought his spell was pretty good in general. He kept it tight. And obviously, you got to create a bit of error from the batsman as well. I thought he bowled very well on day 2, Moeen.
Absolutely, Sheldon. I mean, everything going right for England now. The inclusion of Wood, Woakes, and Moeen Ali there was just brilliant. I mean, they made the right calls. But where did you think, Sheldon, this match was gone for Australia? Because I felt that giving that, that many runs to England first time around when they batted, because Australia scored 263 the first, and then that just those few runs of the lead that they got, because England made 230 odd, and so that was I felt where the game was gone. But that second innings from Australia, 224, just not matching up, Sheldon. You felt that if they had to get even 50 runs more, this game was theirs for sure, right? Because England bowled so well, to dismiss them again. And yes, rain had its part to play and everything like that. But like you said, you still got to bowl well. You still need to land the ball in the right areas, irrespective of, whether rain or no rain, overcast or not, or all that jazz. But England, I thought, bowled very well. So what did you feel?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I feel those 2 aspects, definitely Australia could have done better. I feel the bowling in the first innings, I mean, you shouldn't have let England get those many runs, especially considering they got the top order out cheaply. And, they went into the tail pretty fast. And I felt the way they batted to start their second innings, they probably gave away too many wickets on day 2. I felt Warner, Smith, and the top order, basically, I feel they could have done more. There was too much left for that middle order to do. But I mean, Travis Head, how good is he when Australia need him, right? He's such a good player. I mean, such a good middle order batsman. And it feels like this was the game for number 5 and number 6, because they were the top scorers in this game in both innings. And I mean, Travis Head, we spoke about him in the World Test Championship final as well. He's become such a good player, right? In any format, even when he opens in ODIs. He just looks like he's such a good attacking player to watch, just as a neutral also.
Absolutely, Sheldon. That was my next point. I was going to come to Travis Head, because he's had a brilliant run so far, right? You see him in last year as well. It's just that fine for Australia. I don't know how they take people and then just give them those roles and they just start to excel. Steve Smith was a bowler. Freaking hell. Turn this guy into the best batsman right now. Like, Mitchell Marsh from nowhere. They just pick him in the team and now he scored 100 also. But Travis Head has had a damn good run so far. Even in India, you felt that in the first match when he was dropped and he wasn't picked, you were just wondering, why the hell have you not played this guy? Because, the way he can play can just turn the match on its head there, right? And even in this inning, Sheldon, you see that England were bowling the short stuff at him, kept peppering up with the short stuff, not giving him enough room, but he found a way, Sheldon, and that's what I admire. He found a way, he took his chances, and not one of those balls, also maybe just a few, some of the shots were just sailing right into the stands. There are very few bouncing in the middle and then going for 4 or something like that, or landing short of the fielder, but all of them, Sheldon, clean hits, and the responsibility he takes on. absolutely brilliant from Travis said. I feel, Sheldon, he's had a damn good run so far. What do you think?
Yeah, dude, I think you're spot on. And I was even shocked with some of those tactics too. I mean, yes, I get it. He apparently struggles to the bouncer. But when it's overcast, why are you bowling bouncer after bouncer to him? I don't understand the bouncer tactic if you're bowling 6 balls as bouncers. Like, okay, you can bowl full and throw in a bouncer, right? I'd always prefer that from a bowler than bowling 6 bouncers. And I thought he played the bouncers very well, in fact. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
I was shocked England kept bowling. I was like, try pitch it up because yes, okay, maybe he'll hit one after he makes 60. How's that a weakness if you get out after hitting 60 runs by pulling and hooking? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
shocked that some people say that's a weakness. I thought he played very well the bounces, and if England do get a chance to bowl at him again, I'd advise them not to keep bouncing him and try pitching it full next game for sure.
Yeah, Sheldon. But this match, I thought the bowlers did very well. You had Pat Cummins, you had Mark Wood, you had Woakes, everyone. But Mitchell Starc, I think almost going unnoticed here, Sheldon. I mean, yes,
Yeah,
Mark Wood's got the pace. Pat Cummins leading from the front there. But how good has Mitchell Starc been, Sheldon? Because he's one of the best bowlers in the world right now, if not the
yeah,
best bowler going around right
yeah.
now. Because the way he gets that the ball to angle in, especially on the wicket of Moeen Ali, was just too
That was
good.
beauty. Yeah.
Beauty of a ball. I think 9 out of 10 batsmen would have got out, and Moeen Ali, you could see that, there's no answers to that. And Mitchell Starc, Sheldon, time and again, when Australia need him, even when they wanted early wickets today, he was the one who kept coming in. And you could see that, when they needed a wicket, they were just handing over the ball to him, and he kept taking them, had them in the game till the very end. I thought he bowled absolutely brilliant, irrespective of whether Australia lost this match or even if they had to win. Starc did his job, I felt.
Yeah, it was absolutely spot on. I thought he and Cummins were brilliant. I mean, for both of them to take 5 wickets each, in each of the innings were absolutely superb. I feel they were kind of let down by the other bowlers a bit. I
Yeah.
thought Boland didn't have his best game. He just looked like
Finally,
he wasn't.
finally, he
Yeah,
didn't have his
yeah, exactly. Finally, England must be thinking about time. He's finally human. I mean, yeah, he didn't look as threatening. Marsh, and I felt for Todd Murphy a bit. I mean, it felt like they didn't trust him. When it mattered, like towards the end, it felt like, okay, let's just throw
No,
it to him.
Sheldon. No, but I felt like,
No,
the runs were not there enough for them to play with. He's not as thing as Nathan Lyon. That's what
of
I felt.
course, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I felt
that's
I
for
felt
sure.
really
Yeah,
sad for him. He's playing his
yeah,
like fifth test match only. You got
yeah,
to feel for the guy, right? But he's been so good, Sheldon. I mean, there's nothing he can do wrong when you got like 50,
yeah,
60 runs to win, and like this you can't do much damage. You can
yeah,
see the guys are on song already. Like the ball is not getting enough of turn or anything like that. So if Australia had to win, it had to be like Starc and Cummins going at it
yeah,
and
for
taking
sure.
an 7 or 8 wicket haul. But where does this leave this series, Sheldon? Now we're going into the next test match, the fourth one. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing the next one's going to be as interesting as this one, because we all said the first one can't get so close. The second one went. After that, we said the third one's not going to get so close, but it went down to the wire. But the next one, Sheldon, where does that leave England? Do you think England have the team now going to the fourth test, or any changes have to be made?
I think it would all depend if Robinson's fit. I mean, he had back spasms again, and I know I asked for him to be dropped,
I
for this
don't think
test,
so. He's
but
coming back, Sheldon. I don't think so.
yeah,
I don't
I
think so.
don't think he's going to play, and I think Jimmy would most likely come back, and I'm okay
Oh.
with that. Him coming back to play at Old Trafford in his home ground, and he'd probably open with Prod. And I think with this attack as well, you have an extra seamer, so it kind of helps if you kind of have an Anderson. It's okay because you can rotate the seamers better. So I think that'll be the one change for them. For Australia, though, I'd look maybe Hazelwood. I think if Hazelwood's fit, he should come back in because they did look like they missed, that third attacking seamer, like Starc and
Yeah, yeah.
Cummins. So maybe Australia look in that area, right, Dill? But Dill, I want to ask you about one thing. Cam Green, how does he come back into the side now after that Mitch Marsh 100?
Man, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's another thing for Australia, right? Headache for
Yeah,
Australia. Because I mean, where does he come in now? Because Mitch Marsh has been so
yeah,
good with ball and with bat, right? He's picked up
exactly.
wickets, fielded so well, batted it, comes in and scores 100 straight away. It's pretty hard to drop him, but it'll be interesting. I mean, personally, I wouldn't drop Mitchell Marsh, right? Because I think
It's
he's
harsh, right? Yeah,
it's very harsh. I mean, you're going to be
yeah,
really harsh if you're going to drop the guy, because he's done everything right. You brought him in, he scored, he's delivered. Unfortunately, you ended up on the losing side, and
yeah,
that can happen. But I wouldn't drop Mitchell Marsh going ahead. But I don't know, Sheldon. Like you said, I think you're right. Hazelwood has to come in for them. I feel Poland probably has to sit out or something like that. But Todd Murphy will play. I think Todd
yeah,
Murphy
yeah.
has to play because they need that spinning option there alongside, the quick ones. But Sheldon, another important question that I want to ask you very quickly before we wrap this up is the catching of England. You've seen Australia, yes, towards the end, that catch was put down, we know, but it wouldn't have made much of a difference. You had Broad, you had, everyone
Yeah,
else
yeah,
to
yeah.
come, and some of the catching from England shall have not been up to the mark. You got to expect that. Like you said, Marsh let off there so early. Yeah, and you got to
Yeah.
feel that, okay, if he had to get a few more, then that would really cost England the game, right?
Exactly, Dylan. It can't be that poor. This is an Ashes series between two, close sides where every run matters, and you can't be giving second chances to guys. Even Labuschagne was dropped by Bairstow,
Mm.
easily on day two, and luckily he got up the next over for England. But
Yeah.
easily he could hurt you. He's such a quality batsman where he could score 100 and could bat you out of the game. So Root and Bairstow in particular, I feel their catching has just been,
Bro,
very
Root's
ordinary.
one of the highest catchers.
I know, Dil,
For
honestly, I saw that
England,
and I don't know how that's possible. Every time I see Root, I'm fingers crossed because I never,
No,
it never
man.
seems comfortable when he's under the ball, honestly, Dil. Like, and Bairstow though, second innings he was better, but he did still drop a catch. And like, you look at Carey, for example, and Carey's keeping has been brilliant. Like, honestly, his catching has been unbelievable.
Yeah.
His runouts have been unbelievable when he's had to do it.
Hey,
And
stumping, huh? Not run out.
stumping. He's honestly been superb, like carried behind the stumps, and like even Australia's fielding has easily saved them 20 to 30 runs more than England.
Big
Like
time,
I
big
felt
time.
during the
Yeah.
series. And that could be the difference. I mean, if Australia win the series, you could easily base it off their fielding because that wins you games as well, right?
Absolutely, that wins you games. But today it was England who won that, and
Yeah.
what a win it was for England. I mean, Headingley back again. Australia yet to
Yeah.
win here. It was a repeat of 2019, but not so much because it was Harry Brook this time who
Yeah.
finished the match. And what a way to get England over the line. The series is still alive, 2-1. Interesting to see in the next one if England square the series and go into the last test. That will be ideal. That will be like the icing on the cake for this Ashes series. But even I'm hoping England wins it because you don't want to be, one-sided, right? We want to see some entertainment there when England doing everything they can to entertain everyone in Test cricket. But there you have it, guys. Drama still continues. The action still continues here. And yes, we'll see you next in the fourth Test match. But if you do have any ideas for our channel, do let us know in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, guys. We really appreciate all the comments and all the support that we are receiving. And yes, do follow us on Instagram. Our handle's down there in the description. And we'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.